Hello everyone. How are you all doing? I believe you're doing good. Today I've come here for discussing Dijkstra's algorithm. Actually, I thought that I have given away this algorithm, but due to this COVID-19 outbreak, we could not have the class for it. So this algorithm needs a bit of explanation. Although I have tried to put all the sufficient concept notes for this algorithm so that you can understand it better. But however, I thought of having this video lecture that would actually help you understand this algorithm better. So let us understand why is Dijkstra's algorithm, or what is the purpose of Dijkstra's algorithm. So technically, this is a shortest path algorithm. So what it does is it begins with a particular source node and it determines the shortest route between that source node to every other node in the graph. Okay, so this is the purpose, and to achieve this, we would see that there are certain things being done in the algorithm. Technically, these two things that I would first like to highlight, that is temporary and permanent. Now, what is it? What do we do is during this entire algorithm, we will see that every node will be associated with a label. Okay. Now, what does this label represent? Label represents the shortest path from the source node to that particular node, along with the immediate predecessor of that node. We'll come to that later on, but for now, you understand that whenever we are associating any label to a node, the label can be of two types. It can be either temporary or it can be permanent. Now, by mean of temporary, what is the status? The status is there can be a possibility of having a shorter route, and once a particular distance is found which is the shortest, there is no further possibility of getting a shorter route, then we mark that label as permanent. So this is the whole idea. Now what we get after execution of the algorithm, after execution of the algorithm, if we see that a particular destination node is labeled, then we know that it will give you the shortest distance from the source node to that destination node. But if you find at the end of the algorithm that there is some vertex which has not been labeled, then there is definitely no path existing from the source node to that destination node. So let us visualize it. So this particular slide will be introducing you with certain terms. As you can see here, there's some UI, there's some DIJ, there's some other lot of stuffs. What does this mean? So let us take help of an example. Let us see. Now what we do here is consider one to be your source node, okay? And I is a vertex, J is another vertex. UI is the shortest. The UI is a label. UI is a notation by mean for which we mean that it is the shortest path from the source node to that particular node. So since it is I have written UI. If it was J, I would have written UJ. So we begin from 1 and I have a direct path to I. If this is the shortest distance to be denoted, I will use UI. Now let us consider I have another node J. Now J is an immediate successor of node I. What do I mean by successor? Successor is a certain node which is reachable from this particular. So the successor of I is J. The successor of 1 is I. So the node which is immediately reachable from I, that is a successor. So whenever we are going ahead with labeling, now I have to again find out the shortest path or shortest distance from 1 to j. So if it is 1 to j, what would be the notation? It would be uj. Now I have to find out what will be the value of uj. you can very well see that I can say that this uj will be summation of ui and dij. So if I add ui plus dij, I technically should get a uj. Now this algorithm has a trick. What is the trick? It is saying that, let's say I have another node k. I have another node k, and that k to dj, and that k to j, I have a distance, let's say d of, it would be k j. Now, if this particular node is already labeled by uj, okay, and I find that there can be a particular point of time, you have to understand that whenever we are trying to label a node, we have to see whether the status of that node has a temporary label or a permanent label. So actually we begin with labeling each node. We proceed throughout this algorithm by labeling each node. So at any point of time when we label, when this particular part was not in the scenario, we only had j. So while labeling j, what we did was uj equal to ui plus dij, and the status of this label was marked as temporary, because we are not yet sure that whether this path is the shortest or not. So there might be some other distance, there might be some other shorter route as well. So whenever we try to label a node j at that particular point, we have to first ensure that the label is not permanent. If a node which I'm trying to label is permanent, it cannot be achieved. So can only label a node which is temporarily labeled. And at that very same time, we have to see that if it is previously labeled, let's say I'm giving you a certain figure. Let's say this is having a value of 4, this is having a value of 5. Pardon my drawing. So if I have to follow this path, like from 1 to k, then k to j, what would be the distance? The distance, you can see, it is 9, right? Now let us see that this distance is 2, this distance is 3. Okay. Now when I'm trying to label this node from coming from I to j, I find that already j is labeled with 9. Okay. And what is the source node? Means from which node has this labeling been done? This labeling has been done from a predecessor of k, right? So I can say that this was the label for node j. So if I begin with node, so if I, when I'm trying to label, and this is a temporarily labeled, okay, please mark that it is temporarily labeled. Okay. Now since I'm trying to label j, and I find that it already has a label, but it is a temporary label, and the shortest distance from the source node, that is 1, is 9, and this particular immediate predecessor of j is k. Now when I'm trying to get this labeling from I would get a value of 5. How? ui plus dij, 2 plus 3 is giving me 5. And what is the predecessor? If I follow this route, it is nothing but I. That is, I got this distance, and this distance I achieved from node I. Okay. So at this very same time, you do a comparison. The comparison is whenever you're trying to label a node j, which is already previously labeled, I would only replace this value with this value if this is a shorter value. Okay, if this is a shorter value, then I will replace it. So here in this case we find definitely 5 is a shorter value than 9. So this j will have this label and this will be no more existing. Okay, but still I am not marking it as permanent, I will be marking it as temporary. Now your question should be, so when do we mark a node as permanent? We definitely do that, but when do we do that? We will actually look into every iteration, and all the nodes that we will have in our list, we will look for the one which is having the shortest value of this particular field. And for that particular node will be marked as permanent and we will move. To have a better idea, let us go back to the algorithm. Now this was the slide for which I took help of that wave whiteboard. Now what is it stating? It is stating that the same thing ui, which I already said, and it is saying dij is any distance between node I to j. Now what do we see? That this uji, what is the meaning of this? Uji is nothing but the label for node j, okay, that we were doing over here. This is the labeling, this or this is the labeling. So it has two part, it has a first part, it has a second part. So what is the first part? The first part is the distance, it is the distance from the source node to that particular node. And what is the second part? Second part is the immediate origin. So this is being mentioned over here. Now what we write here is, when we begin the algorithm, we have to take a starting node or a particular node from which we are trying to figure out the shortest distance from that particular node to every other node of the graph. So here node 1 is the starting node. So for the node 1, definitely there is no shortest distance from that particular node to itself. So we will be writing 0 for the first part, and since it is the starting node, there is no origin, we are marking it as -1. Okay, now let us see. So this is the algorithm. Let me explain you the algorithm step by step. The first step, I see that this is the source node, like let's say node 1, and we make the label of it as 0 -1 and we mark it as permanent. Why permanent? Because definitely there cannot be any change for that particular node because it is a starting node. Now we do this computation, and the computation is, we compute the temporary labels in such a way, like let's say I take any node, let's say the node is j, so what would be my labeling? It should be ui, let's say I is the immediate predecessor, so there is a cost associated from the starting node 1 to that node I, so it is ui plus the distance that is to be covered from node I to j. So I get this ui plus dij, as you have already seen. So let us make this label for node j, okay, but provided j is not permanently labeled. That is what I told you. Now, if j is already labeled, if we see that it is already labeled and it has a label, let's say uj, and the source or the origin is k, then we can replace this dij part with this uj or already labeled part only if this is less than the already labeled distance. Okay, I already explained it in the whiteboard. Now how long do we repeat it, or how do we proceed? So we will do this, or basically, if all the nodes we see has permanently labeled, then only we stop. Okay, now is it permanently labeled? No, not at this point of time. So what do? We will select a label. Let's say it is urs. S is the source for that node and ur is the distance. Let's say the node is r. Okay, let's say the node is r and the distance from node 1 to node r is ur, and that particular label will be selected among all the temporary labels. So we will see that at any particular iteration we will be having multiple nodes which has temporary labels. So we have to select that particular node which has minimum or the shortest value of UR. Okay, so if there is any if there are same numbers, then we have to break the tie arbitrarily. Okay, and we will stop eventually when we find all the labels to be permanently labeled. So I think you will have a better understanding of the problem with the example, with the help of an example. Okay, so let us consider this graph. Now, what is this graph? This graph is actually it's a representation of 5 cities, and the weights associated with each of these ages are nothing but the distance in miles between a pair of cities. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to begin our algorithm from node 1, and we want to find the shortest path from node 1 to all the other nodes. Okay, and this is what we are trying to do. Now let us see how it works. Okay, in the first iteration or iteration 0, as we know that the node 1 is our source node, we are marking it as with a permanent label of 0 comma minus 1. Okay, now I have to find out from node 1 which are the reachable nodes. If we go back to the diagram, I see from node 1, node 2 and node 3 are the reachable nodes. So I have to find out the distance. Let's say from this diagram only you can say that how 2 should be labeled. 2 should be labeled with this distance, and what is the source? 1 is the source. Okay, and for this is the distance and 1 is the source. So this is what is done over here. Okay, the node 1 has a label 0 comma minus 1 and the status is permanent, and 2 or 3 are reachable. And how it is being computed? It is computed by adding that distance of from the source node to the origin plus the dij. So this is basically ui plus dij. You remember the formula ui plus dij? So ui here is 0, as you know. This is my ui. So it is 0. So it's 0 plus 100 and is 0 plus 30. So both these nodes has to be labeled as temporary, since we are not sure which one is the final one. Now, what was the next step? The next step was, among all the temporary labels at a particular iteration, we have to select the one which has a shorter value, which is a shorter value. So here I have two labels, node 2, node 3. One is having value 100, another is having value 30. So automatically you understand which is the node which I'm supposed to make as permanent, mark as permanent. It should definitely be U3, right? So this is the node which I should mark as permanent. So it will be changed as permanent in my next iteration. So let us go to the next iteration. So this is the next iteration. Now what we have is the node which I will mark as permanent in the previous iteration. From that particular node, I have to again repeat that step of looking for which are the nodes that are reachable. Now you see which node I selected. Node 3 was selected, right? So now I have to think about what are the vertices that are reachable from node 3. In this diagram, it is pretty much clear that 4 and 5 are reachable from 3. So in my next iteration table, 4 and 5 should be added. Now I have a clear idea. Now when we are trying to label node 4, our target should be, it is reachable from which node? 3. So I have to first find out what is the shortest distance from node 1, that is the starting node, to that node, plus the dij. So you can see that this particular node, source node, is 3. So what was the ui? The ui was 30. And what is the dij? Dij is 10. So while labeling 4, what should be the value? 30 plus 10, that should give me 40. Correct? And similarly for 5, again, this 5 is reachable from 3. So I have this ui, which is 30. Again, 30 plus this dij, that is 60. So it will give me 30 plus 60 equals to 90. This is what is done over here. In this iteration, it is written that 4 and 5 are reachable from node 3, and we have permanently labeled. This is already permanently labeled. We had only 2 and 3 in the last iteration, out of which 3 was marked as permanent. Now from 3, I took forward this table, extended it by incorporating node 4 and 5. And you can see this 4 is 30 plus 10, and another is 30 plus 60, 40, another is 90. So what should be my next step? Now my next step should be to select among all the temporary labels. Now what are the temporary labels? Temporary is node 2, okay? Temporary is node 4, and temporary is node 5. So among 2, 4 and 5, I have to select that particular node which has the shortest distance. Now one is having value 100, another is having value 40, another is having value 90. So which one should I select? Definitely I should select node 4. Correct? So U4 is selected, and obviously I will mark this node 4 as permanent in this particular iteration, right? So let us go to the next step. So as you know, my next step should be looking for all the nodes that are reachable from node 4, right? Because in every step we are marking a node as permanent, and we are looking forward to all the nodes that are reachable from that particular node, right? So let us go back and see this diagram. So 4 is my newly marked permanent node. Now I have to look forward and find out all the nodes that are reachable from node 4. So what are the nodes that are reachable from node 4? Node 2, okay, and node 5. So these are the two nodes that are reachable from node 4, node 2 and node 5. Now there is a twist, right? If you go to this iteration, what will you see is node 2 is already present in my list, okay, and node 5 is already present in my list. So you remember that step in the algorithm which said that whenever you're trying to label a node, it can have two states. One, it is not yet labeled; another, it is labeled but not permanently labeled, okay. So among these two, I have this already labeled but with a temporary label. Now what do we do? It had a previous value. What was the previous value of node 2? Node 2 initially had a value of 101, means it got a value of 100, means in miles, or the distance from the starting node 1 to node 2 was 100, and the source node was 1. So this was the initial figure, but now what do I see? That there is a change. What is it saying? It is saying that 55.4 is the new figure. Now how come this is possible? How come I have replaced 100 comma 1 by 55 comma 4? I can replace it because of one particular thing. Let us see how it is working. You remember that we said that if there is an alternate path that can lead, that can give me a shorter route. When I write 100, let's say, let me go back. Okay. Now see, it is something like that. Initially, this label was, okay, this label was 100 comma 1. Okay. That means to reach to this particular node, I got from node 1, let's say forget about all these things, I got from node 1, and this was my value. Now I am getting another value which is saying 55 comma 4. That means there is a distance from the source node to this node via node 4. Okay, if I start from the starting node and I reach to this particular node, I can get a shortest distance 55 via node 4. And you know that we were to do a comparison, we have to do a checking that if this value is lesser than the already labeled value, then I can replace it with this new value. So this is exactly what is done over here. Okay, this is exactly what we see over here. There was initially 100 comma 1, but we got a 55 comma 4. Let us see the picture. So we were to do it from for node 4. You see that sorry, we had to do it for node 2, right? So for node 2 you can see that there is a path from 1 to 2 directly. For that we got 100. So there's an alternative route. What is the alternative route? The alternative route is something like that. I move from 1 to 3, then 3 to 4, and then 4 to 2. So this was 30 plus 10, that is 40. So to reach 4, I already had a shortest path, that is 40. That was labeled as 40, right? And from 40, if I add only 15, I can reach node 2. So it is only 40 plus 15 giving me a cost of 55. So definitely 55 is smaller than 100. Although it looks like you are traveling through two more nodes, it's not a direct path. You're traveling through node 3, you're traveling through node 4, and eventually you're reaching node 2. Although it looks like you are traveling through a longer path, but the total distance covered is much less than this direct path. You got my point? Okay. So this is it. This is why we have changed this label and we have written 40 plus 15. 40 was this value plus 15. This is the new Dij, and I got 55 comma 4. Now coming to note 5. What is written? It was initially in the last slide, it was initially 90 comma 3. Okay. Now here it is written 90 comma 3, or it got an alternative path. But to our surprise, we got an alternative path with the same value of UR, right? The same shortest value. One was through node 3 and this one is through node 4. Now, since it's a 90 comma 3 or 90 comma 4, it does not matter. I can take any one of this route. Either I can follow or come to that this particular node through node 3, or I can follow another route through node 4, because the distance that is same in both the cases is just 90. Let us see. For this particular node 5, I was initially traveling from 1 to 3, 3 to 5. So it was 30 plus 60 giving me a 90. Now what route I am giving you? 1 to 3, 3 to 4, 4 to 5. Okay. So 1 to 2, 1 to 3 is 30. Sorry. Okay. 30 plus 10 plus 50. So it's a 90. The sum is 90. So in both the cases you see that the value is coming as 90. One is through node 3, another is through node 4. So you can select any one of them, doesn't matter. Okay. So now what should be our, so this particular table creation is done, okay, for this iteration. So what should be our next step? Our next step is again to check what are the nodes which are temporarily labeled. So you can see node 2 is temporarily labeled and node 5 is temporarily labeled, right? So for node 2 and node 5, I will again choose the one which has a shorter distance. Now which is the shorter distance? 55, right? 55 and 90 was my comparison. 55 is shorter, so I will be marking this U2 or node 2 as permanently labeled, and I would again look for all the nodes that are reachable from node 2, and I would proceed the algorithm. Okay, so in the next step, So in the next step, what happens is this node is permanently labeled, right? So I have to again now check what are the nodes that are reachable from node 2. This should be my step. Now let's say come over here. I have now marked 2 as permanently labeled. What are the nodes that are reachable from node 2? Only 3. Okay? Only 3. Now go back. I have marked this node as permanent, and now I see that 3 is the reachable one. Now, is 3 labeled? Yes, it is already labeled. Is it permanently labeled? Yes, it is permanently labeled. So I cannot make any change, right? Can I make any more change? No. So next step tells me this thing in words. This says that node 3 is only reachable from node 2, but since node 3 is already permanently labeled, we cannot do anything about it. So that only leaves node 5 as temporarily labeled. So we are left with no option than to mark node 5 as permanently labeled and again look for all the nodes that are reachable from node 5. If you go back to the diagram, you will see node 5 does not have an outer edge. So no does not have any outgoing edge. So from 5 I cannot go to anywhere. So definitely I cannot proceed with the algorithm. All I can do is I can mark node 5 as permanently labeled and the process should end. Okay. So this is how the algorithm works. Now, if you have to find out the shortest route from any particular node to a desired destination node, you can easily do by using a backtracking method. How? I'm telling you. So this is your final output. This is the diagram. This is the graph that was given to you, and all these are labeled. Please note the correction. It would be -1. The one is missing over here. Okay, so these are all the labels. So the last table that you got, all these labels are put in this graph, right? Now let's say a small example. Let's say you are supposed to find out the shortest route from node 1 to 2. So 1 to 2, it is something that you are supposed to find. So what do we do is we first write, okay, 2 2 is something which is my destination node. Now what is the label of 2? 55 4. Okay, 55 4. So definitely 4 is the immediate predecessor of 2. So I write 4. Again, what is the label of 4? 40 comma 3. I have written 40 comma 3. So 3 is the immediate predecessor. I have written 3. What is the label of 3? 30 comma 1. So 1 is the immediate predecessor. 1. Is 1 my source node? Yes. So the route which I am supposed to find is 1, 3, 4, 2. I repeat, 1, 3, 4 and 2. Okay, and what is the shortest distance? What is the length? It is 55. Okay, so this is all about Dijkstra's algorithm. I have given a brief introduction about what is the purpose of this algorithm. I have introduced you to through certain terms with the help of a web whiteboard, and the algorithm is there. Along with that, there's a case study, and the stepwise how do you solve it is also explained. Okay, now this type of questions may come that after executing the algorithm, you're supposed to find out the shorter route, and this is how you solve it. You use this backtracking to get the final result. Okay, so this one is your home task. This is one of the other graph given to you, and you have to take D as the initial node, right? And you have to perform this algorithm. So this would be your home task. I expect that apart from the material which I have already provided you, the PPT, this video lecture would actually help you understand the algorithm better, and I can expect that by the end of this week, all of you can come up with the solution of this particular exercise. Thank you.